Greetings. I am Dr. Brenda K. Williamson and have been in the field of education for 35 years. On December the 23rd, I was tagged on Facebook by Lorie Barnes, NCAEYC Executive Director, asking if I would share a short video clip celebrating the connections that have sustained us through 2020. Yes, this has been an unprecedented year for our country and my profession, the field of education. I don't feel any of us could have imagined at the start of 2020 that it would be a year where we would experience so many crises in our communities, state, nation, and the world. I reference 2020 as a year of clear vision of what God had for me to pursue. The world began changing 4 days into 2020 with two sentences tweeted from the World Health Organization. China has reported to the World Health Organization a cluster of pneumonia cases with no deaths in Wuhan. Investigations are underway to identify the cause of this illness. Yes, the new virus would be dubbed COVID 19. We have the impact of COVID 19, where we listen attentively to Dr. Anthony Fauci, Director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and North Carolina's own Dr. Mandy Cohen, the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, to adhere to the three W's: wear face coverings, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands thoroughly. In January 2020, our children, students attended child care facilities or public, private, charter schools for face-to-face learning, along with our 2 and 4 year institutions of higher education. Then came March. We moved to sheltering in place, Zooming, flattening the curve, essential workers, herd immunity, and super spreaders. Yes, early childhood educators in child care facilities earned the title essential workers, who are among the lowest paid workers but provide the foundational domain skills of cognitive, language, gross motor, fine motor, social, emotional, self-help skills, which are built upon for the child's future in the career of their choice. I went from an office space to sitting in front of my laptop just like now at my kitchen table. Oh, but I am thankful and blessed to have maintained my job and not having to apply for unemployment benefits or standing in a line hoping to receive a food box from the generosity of those who were giving. We were confronted with the pain and racial injustices, the consequences of systemic racism, and the long-standing inequalities of our society. Say her name, Breonna Taylor, age 26. Say his name, George Floyd, age 46. And say his name, Rashad Brooks, age 27. Say his name, Daniel Prude, age 41. We have heard their stories, and we have sought to lift up their voices towards being agents of social change. Protest marches were being held in Durham and Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm praying for safety and letting one's voices be heard for change and not supporting the looting of businesses. While picking up lunch one day, a young gentleman in his 20s, African American, asked me if I was going to participate in the protests downtown Durham that evening. My reply was no, and he had a befuddled look upon his face. Therefore, I knew I had to elaborate for him why I had chosen to say no. I shared if I were in my early 20s, yes, I would have been in the numbers supporting the cause to eliminate or work towards removing systemic racism for changes for our Black, brown, indigenous people of color. And then I also shared with him, but remember, we know of Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also note there was others behind the scenes whose names we do not call, who have afforded us this change that we enjoy today. Therefore, I need to look into changes for the field of education, particularly early childhood education, birth through age 8, to make great strides for positive social change here in America, as the majority of our racial makeup will look more like our Black, brown, indigenous people, according to the census by 2050. Yes, my work for cultural inclusive learning environments for educators and other stakeholders moving towards eliminating the issues related to race, racism, biases, implicit, explicit, and more related topics. Therefore, I contacted Lorie Barnes, the executive director of the NCAEYC, to see if she had read the article, Our Children, Our Workforce, Why We Must Talk About Race and Racism in Early Childhood Education in the Exchange magazine. Then I inquired if NCAEYC Zoom account could be used to host a safe, brave space for us to start conversations, then actions towards social change. The answer was yes, and two legacy leaders, Dr. Valerie McMillan and Angela Wilson, co-facilitate with me and various NCAEYC board members, directors associated to facilitate the breakout groups. So therefore, we have formed the NCAEYC Equity ECE Circles. All the while, NCAEYC Equity Circle members have a true passion and dedication to ensure that all children receive high quality education and a better world for them to pursue their chosen careers. Life as we know it has been reshaped. No longer children, students in face-to-face classes 100%. We are now using these new technologies to teach virtually, conduct assessments, and parent family home visits, Zoom staff meetings, attend virtual conferences, use Google Hangout to have some form of normalcy for seeing children, students, staff members, family members, and friends to maintain connectivity, to stay in touch. And I have found myself going back to the old school and the skill of handwriting notes, then dropping them in snail mail or texting accompanied with pictures and inspirational quotes. Again, it's okay to embrace our new normal lifestyle. It's okay. Remember again to wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart, wash those hands, because educators rock as we will enter 2021. Thank you.